What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video, and today some more Dragon Ball FighterZ for y'all. So today I wanted to start going back and breaking down small parts of the game. Knockdown is a really big one for people, so whether or not you're an experienced fighting game player who's played a bunch of fighting games or Dragon Ball is your first fighting game, knockdowns really kind of mix people up. They don't really know how to handle them because the knockdown options are pretty strong in the game. I did cover this a while ago, but like the game evolved, I evolved too. I have some new thoughts on this, so I'm going to try to share some new stuff with you, along with going over, again, how to deal with knockdowns in this game. If you got a second, consider liking this video or subscribing to the channel if you already have not. It does help the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. So to start off, Dragon Ball has three types of knockdowns. You have the soft knockdown that you're seeing right here. You have the sliding knockdown, which usually has a cinematic. And the last one is level 3, where you spend 3 bars in order to knock them down. So first, let's start with the knockdown we have the least amount of control with, the level 3. Every character has different frame advantage on their level 3, so knowing how much frame advantage they have in general, you don't have to know the exact number, will help you know what type of options they have. Compared to previous seasons, level 3s, they're pretty carefully set up now so that you will be put far away on purpose, so it's hard for them to get like a high-low or left-right or something. You can see that here in Bardock's level 3. Because of the positioning the character might have, you will need a different strategy against everyone's level 3s in general, but I can give you a few pieces of advice of how to deal with people's level 3s. So here I just did Bardock's level 3. This is plus 38, and it always puts you in the corner. So there are a few things he can do and many characters can do with this amount of frame advantage. If they have an assist, they could jump and do a high-low. They can safe jump you as normal, or they can do a super jump mix-up with super jump IED. So despite all these options, the thing they all have in common is that your back is to the corner, so they can't cross you up. So even though they could do a 50-50 to you multiple ways, you can also 50-50 them, make them guess with reflect. Since level 3s all get up at the same time, you wake up at the same timing depending on level 3, this could be a little hard to deal with. So here I would say pay attention to your opponent's meter and how much life you have to gauge whether or not you should take a risk on wake up or not. So for example, a situation like this might be pretty rough. So Bardock is going to do a combo into an assist into level 3. You see he has a lot of meter here. This is going to do about a little over 50%. I would say like 56% or so. Depending on what he does, since he has 3 bars and another assist left, he can basically kill you off any other touch. So here it's like, oh, I might have to make a choice on what to do. But here, he's just doing a normal combo. He's not extending with assist at all. He has 3 bars, so that means he's going to have 0 now. And his meter is going to be locked out. He only has assists available. Here, you don't necessarily have to take a big risk like reflect. You can try to take the mix-up. Now, a more stressful level 3 would be like Yamcha's. Even though he doesn't have a command grab or something, this level 3 puts you outside of the corner. Now, unlike Bardock's, you'll notice this one has very low frame advantage, but he has a really good guessing game he can play against people. And again, you have to kind of take a risk if you're going to die. If you're not going to die, you can consider trying to hold it or taking safer guesses. Now, the scariest type of level 3s are ones like GTs or characters who get good mid-screen mix-ups off their level 3s. This is not very common, though, in the game. It's not that many characters that could do this, but because they're mid-screen or they take you out of the corner for some reason, then your reflect option becomes much weaker because they can cross you up. So, to be honest, any level 3 like this is a really bad spot to be in. There's not really an answer besides guess or spark if you have it available. These tend to be one of those try not to be in that situation if you don't have to be in type of level 3s. So next, let's go into slide knockdown. So slide knockdown is what most people aim for when they hit you. They go for this because the opponent has not so many options, but still a good amount. You have up tech, where you go up in the air. You have back tech, where you flip backwards. That's the default tech. You have an in-place tech, where you go in place. And by the way, these two look exactly the same. Here I'm doing back, and here I'm doing in place. And you have a down tech, where you lay it on the ground, and you can vary your timing on wake up. So depending on what assists you have, you can basically cover everything by using the assist mid-screen to just go to where they are and lock them down. Now, if you're alone though, it works kind of differently. This is a little bit character specific. I would recommend experimenting with your character and see what you can do. But the general rule is if you are alone, you can only cover 2 at a time. So here I did a back tech with my safe jump here. Here I did an up tech, and you see my jump heavy covers them the same. But if I pick in place tech, then this happens. And if I do delay down tech, they will also go over me. So what people generally do is that they pick either, oh, I think they will back / up tech, and it's usually up tech, or I think they'll do in place or down tech, which is usually down tech. When you're on the receiving end of this, if someone is doing this to you, that means they know exactly where you're going to tech. So keep that in mind and make sure you vary the way you tech so that you make it harder for them to continue to run offense on you. Now, however, this is not the case in the corner. Since you don't go backwards anymore on your up tech because there's a wall there, you can actually cover all the options. So here's a really basic technique for covering options in the corner. So here he's going to do the slide knockdown. It safe jumps everything. I'm going to do an up tech here too. Nice and safe. So here I'm going to try to do delay down tech into wake up buttons. A pretty common thing people try to do. So see there, I backdashed out of the way. So you can use this to kind of hedge your bet a little bit. You don't know where they're going to tech exactly, and if they do delay down tech, you can just kind of slide out of there and keep yourself safe. One of the big issues to solve in this game is that you can't hit people lying down on the ground like that. Generally in ArcSys games, you can, in games where you can kind of control your tech like that. So you need to, at the very least, not get hit when this happens. Now, of course, you can use assist as well to really cover a lot of options here. This, of course, will take some experimenting, but for the most part, it's a pretty reliable technique to cover all the options your opponent has. If you're really put off by someone delaying down, you could try using assists like Piccolo, running a more macro strategy like tagging into a character who has a good setup like Captain Ginyu. Here he's going to do Golo Rakum, the classic. Or you can try running a character that has good general option coverage like base Vegeta. Here covering the up, the neutral, and being safe from the down tech all at the same time. A big thing to remember here is that up tech and neutral tech, back tech, in place, whatever, basically are at the same timing, but delayed down tech is always after. So you'll generally be safe. So last but not least, I'm going to talk about Softdowns. This one is pretty hard to talk about because there are so many options. So the other day I did mention how there's back tech here, / in place, delay down as usual, up tech, where your safe jumps will cover everything as usual. But they could also delay their back tech, delay their up tech, and then still do their usual hold down, wake up buttons. So ideally, in a perfect world, you wouldn't really get soft downs. If you do get a soft down for some reason, I basically recommend trying to safe jump the normal timing and then either do the normal backdash option select I showed you earlier, or do a character specific thing that will hit later. So here Bardock, he safe jumps me, no problem, just like we're used to. But in the case of doing a delay up tech, he hits me with his head invincible up punch. Feel free to experiment with your characters on this. It shouldn't come up too often in your games. The ones that are really important to get good at are the sliding knockdowns and of course the level 3s. Sliding knockdown because it's so common, that's what you're aiming for generally in your combos. Level 3 just because your opponent has really limited options because you're spending so much resource. So you're really trying to make the most off that level 3 and get the follow-up hit to close the character. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Knockdown is a pretty important part of this game, but there's way more variance to it than other fighting games. I feel like I'm still improving on this. Hopefully this helped you kind of understand it and helps you build strategies with your own characters and teams. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.